Well, hello. My name is Mike Jacka with REIA, the Minnesota Real Estate Investors Association, and also 25 plus years experience in rehabbing and wholesaling. Um, I'm a landlord, do creative seller financing like lease options, subject twos, contract for deeds, land contracts, that sort of thing, as well as buying and selling notes, and I've done a little bit of hard money lending as well over the years. And I've developed some systems to help people quickly go through a property and estimate the repairs. And this was from years of experience working with students locally and just over the last couple of years here, starting to work with students around the country. And I've developed the system, and I shouldn't say I developed it, it's a system that has been kind of developed by real estate speakers and trainers and entrepreneurs and gurus over the last 20, 30, 40 plus years. But what I've done is I've taken all that knowledge I've learned from everyone else and simplified it and systemized it for our students. And so your leadership group there asked me to come out and share with you guys that process because we're hearing right now, depending on how hot your real estate market is, I'm hearing students all over the country that are making like 20, 30, even 40 offers just to get one offer accepted. And quite frankly, that's unacceptable. And that's partly due to the fact that they really don't know how to, they probably know how to get the repair budgets, maybe not as quickly as what I'm going to share with you guys on Thursday night. On Thursday the 5th in Cincinnati is the night that I'm going to be there showing you guys how to go through and quickly and accurately estimate repairs. Okay, but when you understand why this system works, you're going to have confidence enough to be able to go through the properties and get that number yourself in a fraction of the time of what a lot of people are going to do. I mean, contractors are going to spend an hour or two, sometimes even 3 or 4 hours getting their budget because they got to go and measure everything. They got to get, how much paint they have to get, how much lumber they have to get, screws and sheetrock, and all the different items that they need for doing the rehab project. Well, we don't need to know all that stuff. We just need to know how to get to that number that the contractors are going to get to. Right? So I want to share that with you guys on Thursday night, how to get to that number as quickly and as accurately as possible. And then also on the 14th and 15th, you guys are going to be doing a bus tour. So Jerry had asked me if I could stick around and teach you guys after part of the bus tour. We're going to go through, because on Thursday night we're going to do the repair estimate. So when we go through on the bus tour, we'll be able to quickly get that number. But then the next step is, well, what do you do once you got the repair budget? How do you get the after repair value? Calculate out your mail. What if the seller is just a regular seller and maybe they don't have enough equity where we can make a cash offer or a mail offer? What do you do then? And that's where a lot of students will look at those offers, they'll make them, but they don't know how to go to the next step if the seller cannot accept that offer. Maybe the seller has some equity, but not enough equity where our cash or mail offers are going to work for them. Okay, so I've developed some other tools, and one of them is going to be like a seller net sheet. And the seller net sheet is kind of modeled after the realtor's net sheet, so what the sellers know what they're going to receive at net after they close on selling their property. Okay, great. Well, we're going to use the same concept, but in a different manner. And I developed the seller net sheet to work for investors. And what it's going to happen when you learn how to use this quick little simple process, one, it's going to help us root out what the seller's true motivation is. Because as we go through the net, and after I show you how to use it properly, the seller's motivation is going to become clear to us. Right? And that's going to be huge in us actually making our offers. But the other thing that is crucially important, and this is why the realtors use it, is because it gets the seller off of what they're asking, their asking price up here or the value of the property, that high number, and gets them down to what their seller net's going to be, that small number. And that's usually a fraction of what they really think it is. Right? And so the seller net sheet, the way I've designed it and the way I'm going to teach you guys how to use it, is going to mentally and emotionally walk that seller down so that they get down to a reasonable number. And now we're dealing with the seller's net, not what the seller is asking. And that's a totally different negotiation and conversation with the seller. So actually negotiating with sellers is quite simple once you're negotiating under the right premise or with the right information. And that's what the seller net sheet is designed to do. That's why I designed it differently than what realtors use. So that's partly what I'm going to share with you guys. And then how do we actually go ahead and make our offers? Right? What are our exit strategies going to be? Once we know what the seller can accept, and if we can figure out, and I'm going to show you guys how to create the actual offers using different strategies. So obviously if the seller, if they've got enough equity and a cash offer will work, well, we just make the cash offer. Or if they don't have any equity at all, but a subject to will work for us, we just make the subject to offer. But what happens when they're in that limbo area? And this is where most investors really screw up, because there's a lot of sellers out there that have some equity. They do have a little bit of equity, and we have to figure out how to deal with that, but not enough that they can take our cash offer. Or sometimes they get insulted by our cash offers because they're so low. Right, so while we're doing the bus tour, we're going to go through and estimate the repairs, and the bus tour is going to be on the 14th and 15th. So if you're not already signed up, go ahead and make sure you guys get signed up for that. Check with the Cincinnati REIA on how to get signed up for that one. I'm not exactly sure if they got on the website yet or not, anything like that. But talk to them about that and get set up. Right. But after part of that, we got the repair budget, and then we're going to go through how to actually get to your offers and how to present the offers as well. And after following this simple process, most of my students have decreased the number of offers they have to make, or I should say increase their percentages. So they're making fewer offers, but their offers are highly, I should say, more likely to get accepted. And the ratios I'm getting from a lot of my students locally here in Minnesota and as well as around the country is they've gotten them down to, they're getting one offer accepted for every 3 to 5 offers. In a couple of the really super hot markets, that number is more like 1 out of 5 to 10 rather than 1 out of 40. All right, so that's what I'm going to share with you guys. I look forward to seeing you guys on the 5th for estimating repairs, and then on the bus tour on the 14th and 15th in Cincinnati. So I'll see you guys then.